Today, is the price of Bitcoin falling to 5,400 US dollars, the next potential local low? Or are we going to get rescued from the scenario when the price of Bitcoin is going to $10,300? Today we will talk about DaVinci J15, about that apocalyptic scenario, the likelihood of it, and also the way we want to play and how we want to rule that situation right now. Today we have DaVinci J15, and before we go straight into the content and we pull up the charts, we want to come to the most important question of today. DaVinci J15, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, man. A little bit sad because we are moon boys here, right? So all of us are moon boys on this Bitcoin chart. But you know, that's the way it is, right? We gotta read what the chart says and not what we want it to be. So
yes, we are moon boys, but if it looks bearish, it looks bearish, and still there's a little bit light on the horizon. We will talk about that as well. So let's pull up the charts maybe, and let's see what the charts and the price is actually telling us, and what your specific game plan is today. And for everyone watching, we will also share some crazy news in the end towards the BAKKT futures. Everyone was always pumped about BAKKT being Bitcoin settled. They are actually planning to make a cash settlement, and we will talk about why that might be the case. It will be a huge news, and it will actually shed some light on the SEC also. Yeah, DaVinci, let's start, and yeah, please let us know what you think about the situation right now.
well, as you can see, right, we've had two closes on the weekly chart below the 13 EMA. This is like doomsday scenario, and I felt like why was I so bullish? Because like I was telling Carl down here that, hey, let's call a spade, right? Basically, this is definitely a bearish situation. We have like lower lows and lower highs, right? And there's no happiness here. There's no joy. There's no love in the charts, right? At all. So let's just call the spade a spade and live with it, right? Sure, I want it to go to the moon, right? Just like everybody else. But you know, no, markets don't move in a straight line. So we have to live with that. And the fact that I think our moon boyish behavior just failed to see all these M's, like, right? We got M's here, we got M's here, right? And here, you can call this an M right here, yeah, right? And you call this now an M right here and right here. I mean, goodbye. This is over. This is like, let's stop looking for moonish scenarios and start looking for bearish scenarios until this actually changes, until this actually stops. And the only way this is going to stop at this point right now is if we break above the $10,350 mark.
Yes, which would actually put us in a higher high. So you would say, when we create a new higher high, and we will need 10,300, which was incredibly far away, but that would actually prevent us of going further into that bearish structure. It would break key market structure right now and let us go bullish again, right?
Exactly, but we can't break the bottom here as well. We cannot break this bottom. It would help if we don't break this bottom with as well, this candle body bottom here, as well with a close. A close below here is like lights out for sure. You can pretty much lights out for sure, right? So if we have a weekly close like somewhere close to the 100 moving average here, it's lights out. You could just pretty much guarantee any kind of rally at this point. Honestly, even if we rally from here at this point, the odds are that we break up here are very low. We got so much resistance, so much work to do in order to get higher. It's just not viable. It's right. We have to live with it.
I just wanted to ask you, what's your game plan? I mean, it looks pretty bearish, but do you have a specific game plan, or are you just sitting on the sidelines and waiting for the price action to mature?
Well, I'm going to switch to the bearish mode right now. And so what I would do is like wait for a rally, right? I'm going to set my fibs, right? And any kind of rally up to either a 61.8 or 38.2, I'm going to be selling. So let's just say I create my fibs from here to there, 38.2 rally, right? I would look for a sale, look for to sell this rally. Of course, it's probably going to go further downside. Maybe we get maybe bounce down right down here or something like
can you
that.
diminish the VPVR? It will be much easier to see the numbers.
Okay, sure. Sorry
Yes.
about that. Let
No,
me just
perfect. That's
clean
perfect.
that up. So yeah, I mean, here we can just make this closer in the center. And so as you can see, I think we could probably bounce somewhere on this line, and I'd look for a 38.2 retracement to sell that rally. And that's just my guess as to what we're going to see a bounce. I think we have a little bit more further downside. Willie's not quite stupid yet, but we're definitely oversold here.
Yep.
So I would not be jumping on the short in this at this point in time, but I'd look for opportunities to short.
Putting that together right now, you are not shorting in that exact moment. What you are planning to do is, since in bull markets you buy the dips, and or like in bullish scenarios you buy the dips, and in bearish scenarios you sell the rallies. And what you are planning to do right now is not going into a short, but once we have a rally, you will sell the rally at the what was it, the 61.8?
38.2.
38.2, yes.
38.
Which would be 9,400 and 8,500. No,
Well, it depends on
8,500
where.
first.
If it were to turn right now, which is not likely, right? That's at the 8,700, well, 8,800, right, level. And so, but I don't see this being the end of this downward movement. I think at the best we can hope for is like a bounce off this trend line, somewhere wherever that decides to do that. If we go down to the 4 hour, there's no happiness at all. I mean, it's just redonkulous, absolute redonkulous. There's like nothing to like trade. It's too late for short, and you can't even look at a long at this point. There's nothing to get you in a long here at all.
Well, I would be interested what the audience thinks right now. I would do something like a bull versus bears poll, which is popping up on top of the screen right now. Make sure you click it and decide whether you are bullish or bearish in the short and mid run. It would be amazing to see what the audience thinks right now. Bullish or bearish? There is a poll popping up on top of the screen, and I will eventually do the opposite of what the majority thinks. But yeah, guys, thank you, and make sure you take part at that. It would be actually amazing to see. Yeah, it was a joke, man. I mean, our audience is much smarter than all other audiences, so probably the majority will be right. But that was already very good to know. There was something else you wanted to talk about regarding BAKKT, right? Or is there still something you want to share regarding the price action?
Yeah, I just want to talk about one of the things that I told people, right? Hey, you know what? We needed to like see the 61.8 bounce, and we didn't get it. And if we failed on that, we had to like to look at the 78.6 and go straight back up, right? If we didn't do that, that was lights out. That's what I said. Yeah. And now we're here, right? I said on the previous video, it's lights out, and that's what we are. You can hope and pray at the 88.6, but unlikely. Yeah. Unlikely at this point.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Me personally, I'm a moon boy. I'm still hoping for the 10,300. But yeah, there's still some other news you wanted to share, and there's also something I wanted to share. It is somewhere here on my personal charts. I will just talk about that for a few seconds. There is probably one of the longest trend lines going on for Bitcoin right now. And guys, I want you to closely listen. And of course, I'm agreeing with Da Vinci. It looks not all too good right now. I just want to shed some little light. But there's a huge condition to it. And we can see that starting here from January 2019, you can see it. There was a long trend line, which was actually hit 1, 2, 3, sorry Da Vinci, you can't see it right now, 4, and then once again here on spot in October 5 times, and here the 6th time right now we are kissing it. And actually, if we zoom in a little bit and we press on auto, you can see that we went below right now. So that looks actually also extremely bearish AF in that exact moment. But if we switch to the weekly, and if we are able to go above on the weekly, this trend line would actually still be in place. And yeah, maybe we will do another follow-up episode on that specific scenario on our MMCrypto channel. Let us also know in the comment section down below, what do you think about that specific trend line, if we zoom out, we can see that such a long 1.5 years trend line also matured in the previous bear market from the mid of 2016 until the until the end of 2017 actually. And you saw that we also had like 8 or 9 touch points, and these linear trend lines maybe have some significance. We will see when the week ends actually. Da Vinci, sorry for the quick interruption, but I thought that might be interesting for everyone to see, and if we are able to hold it, maybe that's also some light on the horizon. And yeah, there are some back news, Da Vinci.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that light on the horizon. I'd call that a chance to get out. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going down forever. It's just that, again, right, we can see, we have to understand that the price does not move in a straight line. Bitcoin will be going to the moon. It's just not directly there on a rocket ship ride. So yes. Sorry. That's just the way it is. So now let's move on to...
It's impossible that it goes there in a straight line, because everyone who would be in right now would make money, and that's by a law of nature just not possible. Yeah, Da Vinci, about BAKKT, you just shared some insights that it might be actually not backed by Bitcoin, which was the whole thing why we were pumped about it.
Exactly. I mean, I really think that BAKKT, right, they want to offer cash settled futures because I don't think they have the Bitcoins. I honestly, you know, anything that's regulated by the SEC, right, and basically any kind of regulated system company, you could pretty much say that they're a criminal organization against you, basically. Because think about it, right? I mean, how do you run a Ponzi scheme for 30 years under the SEC guidance, right? The only way you can do that is, you know, they already know that you're a criminal, right? And so you could provide a criminal-based system to them, and they will accept that. I don't think they will accept any kind of honest business. Honestly, I swear to God, I feel that's the case here. And so these guys do not have the Bitcoins they say they have. They're not backed by real Bitcoins. This is, the name is, you know, a lot of things, when you see things that go to Congress, right, like the Patriot Act, you know it's not patriotic, right? Well, this name is the same kind of style, right? Backed, meaning backed by Bitcoins. But I think we're being played here. I really do. and they want to switch to cash settled futures because there's no way, they don't offer a way for you to actually settle with Bitcoins. Right? And there's a lot of like shady deals going on. For example, I read about how they went to a company to create the what's it called, the custodial solution, right? Because normally when you create this kind of system, the SEC wants you to create have a separate company that does the custodial for you. And what they did was they created a separate company, and then they went and bought it. And the company that built this was designed to build other companies in order to sell it, right? And so they sold it to BAKKT. And so now BAKKT and the custodial are one and the same. And so, yeah, this all smells bad. And I think that we could see that these guys, I feel that these guys are like really trying to help bring down the price of Bitcoin. And now that they have so much volume, I think that will also help bring down the price of Bitcoin. Now, I remember hearing a story about Brooks Lee Born when she went to the president and to the president's working group, right? They're also called the Plunge Protection Team. and basically what they do is they try to help the markets, right? And so she noticed that derivatives and synthetic derivatives were very destructive to the economy, and Alan Greenspan said that, you know what, yeah, but you know what, people like to gamble, but she said that, wait a minute, there's going to be a lot of fraud with these derivatives, and Alan Greenspan said, well, fraud is part of the system, so we need it. And I'm like, wow.
Alan Greenspan, man, my man. That sounds like him. Yeah.
So, I mean, so you could pretty much say, well, okay, well, anybody who's regulated is a fraudulent company, basically,
Yeah.
right? And because they've gotten the kiss from the king to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think regulation equals like you're allowed to do criminal activity, basically.
It's easy as that. Like whether a regulation is good or not depends on the regulator itself. If the regulator is a criminal guy and he only regulates things positively, which are in alignment with his own incentive structure, then of course, like each and every regulation in the end might be very bad for the general public. So yeah, I agree for 100%. Guys, everyone watching, let us know if you also agree to that. And yeah, Da Vinci, once again, thank you so much for coming back, man. This episode was just a huge blast, and it was amazing to talk to you about the Bitcoin price. You look actually amazing. You are back in shape. Like you look really healthy. Very happy to see that. I'm also here right now in Koh Phangan in Thailand, and yeah, it's just amazing to travel the world and talk crypto to our lovely audience. So is there anything you would like to share regarding your channel, regarding your Twitter, Pandora's wallet, anything?
The transactions on our system, right, we're having a little bit of problems because we moved servers and stuff like that around, and that's all been taken care of finally, right? So anyways, I'm really happy about that. Also, yeah, so I was gonna do a live stream today, but I stayed home and because I needed to do some other work. But yeah, well, I decided to do a show here on MMCrypto, so I'm glad to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. And probably there will be another live stream on DaVinci J15's channel tomorrow. So as always, there is a link in the description. You have to tick the little bell button, not only on our channel, do it there as well, but also on his channel, and you will not be missing out on the future live streams of DaVinci J15. Maybe even there will be another episode tomorrow. Don't know about your schedule. If not, it's also fine. But everyone, be subscribed to our channel, be subscribed to Da Vinci's channel, to our Twitter accounts. And yeah, that being said, for everyone, in the description down below you will find also my personal Instagram account. We are sharing some MMCrypto trips there, and also a very easy two-step introduction how you can make your Bybit account and can get $110 for free for 24 seconds of your time. Go to the pinned comment, all information down there. Thank you so much for watching. And Da Vinci, do you have anything to say before we wrap up today's episode?
Yeah, play from a position of strength, wait for the market to come to you, and don't get wrecked.
Let the market come to you and do not get wrecked. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for watching. We will see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto, most probably tomorrow already. Make sure you stay here for the next episode tomorrow. And that being said, as always, guys, as always, bye-bye.